Welcome to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast, your guide to future tech trends and innovation in a language you understand. Now, over to your host, Neil Hughes.
Welcome back to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. How are we all doing, gang? Now, on this daily tech podcast, I consider myself incredibly fortunate to get to speak with people from all over the world and some of the biggest businesses in the world too. For example, yesterday we had Dentons, the world's biggest law firm, not to mention the likes of Adobe, Microsoft, IBM, Sony and so many others. But I also love talking with startup founders who have taken a problem and created a solution and are currently riding that roller coaster journey of magnificent highs and enormous dips along the way too. However, it occurred to me the other day that I've been missing something on this podcast. What about the person that's listening to this show anywhere in the world who's just nervously applied for something like a customer service role at a company, and throughout the years they work themselves up the ranks until they're in a fantastic position within that company? And after 760 episodes, I don't think I've actually covered a story like that until today. Today's guest is Renata Mihich, and she has done just that. She started in a customer service role in Brazil and is now heading up a major sector of the company in Canada. I absolutely love stories like this, so I invited her on the show today, and we're also going to talk about the role of technology in that journey too. So buckle up and hold on tight so I can beam your ears all the way to Toronto so we can speak with Renata, who is the Managing Director for DHL Global Forwarding over there in Canada. So a massive warm welcome to the show. Can you tell the listeners a little about who you are and what you do?
Sure. So my name is Renata Mihich. I am a Brazilian living in Canada for 5 years. I'm the Managing Director for DHL Global Forwarding in Canada, mother of 2 beautiful kids.
Fantastic. Now, one of the big reasons I invited you on the show today was after I heard about your inspiring and compelling story about your 20-plus year career with DHL. But before we go there, can I take you back to where it all began in customer service back in Brazil? Can you tell me more about your journey from the moment you nervously applied for that customer service role to moving up the ranks and heading up to a major sector of the company in Canada?
Sure. Well, Neil, it all happened very naturally and fast. My career has been very fluid since the first day. I was very lucky to basically work in every single area of the company, even if for a short period of time. And when I started, the organization in Brazil was quite small. We were around maybe only 80 people. And along those years, I love interacting with people, and I had the chance to go from customer service to sales, which was pretty much a very natural step. And when I left the organization maybe 15, 18 years after to come to Canada, we were already 600 people. So I could say that I grew together with the organization.
Now, on this show, I really enjoy sharing stories so that the business leaders learn from other business leaders and startups learn from other startups that have all been on a similar journey. And one of the things I've noticed that has changed since I left school, certainly, which was a long, long time ago, was it was always drilled into me that you can do whatever you want in life as long as you put the hours in. But somewhere along the way, it seems that younger generations listening have almost had their wings clipped and told to stay grounded and stay realistic. But there's never been more opportunities in the world. For example, anybody can now write a book, host their own podcast, run their own business, etc. I'm curious, do you think it is still possible for somebody in a customer service role that's listening to us right now that they too can rise up the ranks with good old-fashioned hard work and that right attitude?
I agree with you. A lot has changed, but some fundamentals, they're still the same. So dedication, perseverance, and I think pretty much the right attitude are still, in my opinion, critical for success. This week I have heard something really funny, but I find it so true, that along our careers, we get help from people, just like in story tales, right? When you have talking animals showing up to help you get out of the woods. And in life, it happens as well, but it just helps with the people with a good attitude, So I think showing the right attitude along your career it's key and very powerful.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. I talk to animals as well, but they don't always answer me back. But if you look at your successful career at DHL, which is a huge global brand, I mean, how have you seen technology transform every aspect of that business throughout the years?
Technology has been and continues to be key and continues to transform the business every day. In logistics, close to real-time information can be sometimes more valuable than the freight itself. So for us, the technology to enhance visibility and even to help us streamline processes, they are quite key for our success.
And as we do look forward, how do you see technology continuing to transform DHL?
As I said before, new technology tools can only allow us to reach faster decision making. And I think that's what our customers are looking for. So improving our processes and ultimately increase our customer speed to market. So in other divisions, I mean, we have a lot of tools that can help that. For example, drones to support inventory counts, smart glasses in warehouses to optimize picking processes. In our case, we use a lot of robots, to support us in doing a more redundant tasks faster. So there is a lot going on that can help us improve our speed to market. Our speed to market means our speed in providing information to our customers.
And one thing that we don't talk about enough, especially where technology is concerned or when it comes to technological change, I mean, have you come across resistant to change at DHL? And if we have anyone listening, in a business anywhere in the world that's also struggling with resistance to change, what advice would you offer to get that idea destination of alignment, synergy and team members so that ultimately everyone's cheering for the same thing?
Absolutely. And in my first year in Canada, I led the organization to a new TMS, Transportation Management System implementation. And that project had a significant impact, in our processes and in our people. And change management was definitely one of the major challenges we faced. And you asked me about any advice that I could give. I would say that change it's unavoidable. It's external and it's uncontrollable. We cannot control the change that is happening and so actively happening, in our business environment. However, the transition we do own. So the faster we transition to the new, the more successful we will be.
And we are also living in an age of instant gratification, one-click baskets and 24-hour delivery time zones. But has the rise of Amazon during your career, has that been a challenge or an opportunity for DHL, would you say?
I find that it has been way more an opportunity. It is very inspiring to see what Amazon is doing. And I frankly don't see them as a threat. Actually, they are a very good customer of ours, and as far as I know, I mean, we could see way more opportunities than threats so far. And we are a service company, and our service maturity and quality will always grant us the right of existence. So while we're doing a good job to our customers, there is no reason, in my opinion, to feel threatened.
Now, before you came on the show today, I always do a bit of research on all my guests, and I did notice that Holt Renfrew, Canada's specialty retailer of luxury brands, that they recently chose DHL as a sole logistics provider for its air freight and customs brokerage services. Can you tell me a little bit more about that deal and how it will actually enable you guys to get luxury goods into the hands of consumers in a much more timely and efficient manner?
Yeah, this has been a great partnership, and we are very excited about having Holt as a customer. We have designed quite a robust process together, and as well in partnership with our European offices to facilitate the communication, with their suppliers and optimize transit times by creative route design, capacity management. So this has been very successful, and well, it has been a pleasure to work with Holt.
And is there anything else that's happening at DHL that you can maybe share with us today?
Well, for the Global Forwarding Business Unit, we are very focused now in our new operating system that we have been implementing since last year. And this project should be finalized in the next 1 or 2 years to come. So we are very focused on that. This will bring us a lot of optimization of our processes and visibility through our new systems. And as we do that, we are all very, very much focused as well in enhancing actions to improve service and grow the business.
So we do have a wide range of listeners on this show in 165 different countries. Some will be on the train to their customer service role, planning their future, while we also have CEOs and business leaders facing challenges of tech disruption and the digital transformation of everything. So as somebody that has had an amazing career at every level and experienced transformational change and been at the heart of it, what's the biggest lessons that you've learned that you could maybe pass down to anybody listening?
Well, I would say to embrace disruption, which is basically the ability to adapt to change, and to listen to people at all levels in your organization, because every perspective counts to make the right decision.
Fantastic. Well, a huge thank you for coming on today. And if there is anybody listening that's been inspired by your story, can you just remind the listeners of where they can find you online, and also maybe just reach out and contact a member of your team if they've got any questions about DHL too?
So, Neil, I invite everyone to look for me in LinkedIn. You can find me, my profile is under my name, Renata Mihich, Mihich. And then I will send you more information and details about DHL that you can as well research on the podcast.
Fantastic. So I'll add all those links to the show notes and the accompanying blog post that accompanies this podcast, just so people can get hold of you nice and easily or find out any further information about DHL. But more than anything, just a big thank you for coming on and taking the time to share your very personal story with me today and your inspirational journey. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Neil.
I loved Renata's story here, and also love how she accepted my invite to come on my podcast today and share that story, even though it was her first podcast. And I also wanted to point out that this show is not all about startups, CEOs and technology, because I always say at the end of every episode that technology works best when it brings people together. And for me, Renata's story is both compelling and inspiring in equal measure. And yes, she has seen technology and the likes of Amazon transform DHL, and indeed the marketplace throughout her entire career. But what I love most about this is that she took time out of her day to come on here to pass her experiences and her advice down to other people listening all over the world. And the fact that we can have a conversation here, beam it all around the world, and somebody somewhere could be sat on a bus or a train having a bit of a bad day and will be inspired by that story and go on to experience great things. We'll probably never get to hear the impact of that conversation, what it had on that person. I'm kind of hopeful that we do hear about it one day. So if we do have someone listening anywhere in the world that is nervously waiting to see if they got that customer service role at a company, or just waiting on any kind of job application, I want you to make me a promise. Remember Renata's story and don't let anybody clip your wings. Stick to your plan, listen to those around you, keep that amazing attitude, and you can work your way up that corporate ladder too. Another story that will always stick with me, I think, was when I spoke with John Scully a few months ago. And he famously ran Pepsi during those Pepsi War years, until, of course, Steve Jobs walked in the room and says, "Do you want to change the world, or do you want to sell sugar water?" So off he went to Apple. But he also told me a great story about driving Pepsi trucks at 4 a.m. and working from the bottom all the way up to the top of that company. And I genuinely think we can learn so much from stories like this. And of course, about adapting to change, especially technological change, because that's crucial. And while most people are fearing it or avoiding it, you can get ahead by going with it. You won't regret it, trust me. And also, of course, kudos to DHL for proving that promoting from within, leveraging technology and investing and looking after your people will also deliver amazing results. But what are your thoughts about today's interview? And what have your experiences been like? Equally, this show is not just about me and Renata sharing our opinions. I'm so passionate about getting you guys to share yours too. So remember, you can email me, techblogwriter@outlook.com. Instagram and Twitter is just my name, Neil C. Hughes. So please, tell me your story. And remember, there's always an open invite for you to come on here too. After all, we're all on this crazy journey called life together. And finally, if you do need my help with tech blogs, thought leadership blogs, business blogs, or starting your own podcast, let me know. But it's quitting time for me now, and my weekend has officially just begun. So a big thank you for joining me this week, and I hope I will see each and every one of you in a couple of days' time. So a big thank you for listening, and until next time, don't be a stranger.
Thanks for listening to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. Until next time, remember, technology is best when it brings people together.